All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Kaidila Dende here. Paul Dada is also here with me, and we also have BKO joining us via Zoom. All right, let's move straight to our next conversation. The accuracy of historical accounts often becomes a battleground for political legacies, especially when key players offer conflicting narratives. The presidency is currently setting the record straight, cautioning the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, against what it terms a rewriting of recent history. The caution is a direct response to comments by the former SGF, who reportedly downplayed President Bola Tinubu's role in Muhammadu Buhari's emergence as president in 2015. Weighing in on the matter, the senior special assistant to the president on media and public affairs, Temitope Ajayi, described Mustapha's remarks as a distortion. Ajayi stressed that President Tinubu's influence, strategic mobilization and political machinery were pivotal in securing the APC presidential ticket for Buhari, a fact he insists is evident and should not be misinterpreted. All right, BKO, the controversial comment by the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, talk to me. Is there any truth to it? Please help us set the record straight.
Well, the truth to it is that this is galling revisionism. It's extremely shameful.
Yeah.
For old men to be behaving in this way, for old men to be taking cheap shots at controversy, because it's clear that Boss Mustapha was just out to take a cheap shot at controversy. He's been out of office for some time. Nobody had been talking about him. Nobody had been behaving like he used to be a newsmaker. So maybe he felt like just taking a shot at controversy. Let these people realize that I'm still here now. So let's look at it this way. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has never told anyone that he singularly brought Muhammadu Buhari to power. But he realized Buhari himself had wept on TV and vowed never to contest again. So if it was possible for Buhari to bring himself to office, to win an election all by himself, would he have been weeping in 2011 after he lost the election? But it's on record that he wept publicly and he said he would never contest again. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, being a tactician politically, knew that with the bankable 12 million plus votes that Muhammadu Buhari is guaranteed to record in the north of Nigeria, all that is needed is for people like him to back him up. They back him up, make resources available to him, because Buhari will guarantee 12 million votes even without money. So Asiwaju knew that if they can back him up with resources, as well as make other strategic contributions, including deliberate media spotlights, including rebranding him, because we now saw Buhari for the first time being dressed in Igbo attire, being dressed in Yoruba attire, just to make him appeal to people of the South.
And even in suits.
South of Nigeria. Yeah. I would say that before that election, before the 2015 election, Buhari had not won an election in any ward in southern Nigeria. Whatever victory recorded was in northern Nigeria. He didn't win election in any local government in southern Nigeria. He didn't win an election in any ward in southern Nigeria. So Tinubu strategically moved to offer him that support because he knew that he was the person who could guarantee those 12 million votes, and with his own support, they will be home and dry. First and foremost, the primary election that was brought to Teslim Balogun Stadium here, which TVC covered for 48 non-stop hours. 48 non-stop hours we were on it. We wasn't showing anything. If not for Tinubu's support, Buhari would never have been able to defeat people like Kwankwaso, who had the resources of tremendous resources from Kano State.
Yeah.
Local government chairmen from 44 local governments of Kano State, the highest in our country, supported Kwankwaso fully. Kwankwaso defeated Atiku in that primary election to tell you how strong he was. Buhari has not got the dollars that people like Atiku Abubakar will share, for example. Where is he going to find the dollars? He needed President Tinubu to back him. And with Tinubu's backing, he was able to win that election. And strategically, they also said, okay, those of you who have lost this election, put pen to paper, agree publicly that you will not defect, that you will support this man. So strategic leadership is important in winning an election. Somebody has argued, because on social media you see people demonstrating their ignorance and they will be behaving like they know how to talk. Somebody argued that, okay, if Tinubu was the one who made him to win, how come when Tinubu supported Atiku in 2007, Atiku didn't win? How come when Tinubu supported Nuhu Ribadu in 2011, Nuhu Ribadu didn't win? You cannot compare Atiku and Ribadu to Buhari. Buhari's support in northern Nigeria is organic. Yes. The only time Buhari, I'm putting it on record as a historian, the only time Buhari didn't get his usual 12 million votes was when he had to contest against against Yaradua. Both of them were from Katsina State, and they had to split the votes. So those usual 12 million votes didn't come. So, because some people will say, oh, every time he contested, he got 12 million votes. That's not true. He didn't get 12 million votes when he had to contest against Yaradua. But that's, by the way, just for our people to know. Atiku has never defeated Buhari in northern Nigeria. Every election that he contested against Buhari in northern Nigeria, he lost, even by a wide margin. In fact, the 2023 election, Atiku didn't win the north. It was Tinubu that won in the north. He got more votes in northern Nigeria than Atiku. So Tinubu supporting Atiku in 2027, that could not have delivered victory when he had to contest against Muhammadu Buhari, the man that I nicknamed the super tanker, as a metaphoric way of describing his popularity. Yeah. So let's not even go there. But coming to the 2015 election, Tinubu provided the Southwest votes. Southwest, in terms of registered voters, is usually higher than other regions in our country. In fact, registered voters in Lagos State are usually higher than even Kano State. The only thing is on election day, you will not see most of them. So the Southwest was strategic because the former governor, the former president concentrated so much energy on the Southwest. He knew that Southwest was the main battleground. He spent money, gave dollars to traditional rulers and other people just to be able to win the Southwest. But with the support of people like Tinubu, Babakande and others, Southwest was delivered to Buhari. This was the missing link all along. Look, you can score 30 million votes from northern Nigeria. You need that spread.
Exactly.
You will never be electable if you don't have the mandatory spread. All of those years, he never had the spread. So Tinubu support for him enabled him to be able to achieve that spread. And a man who was not winning in southern Nigeria was able to win some states in southern Nigeria. People must also remember that election was close. Buhari was able to defeat the incumbent Goodluck Jonathan only by 4 percentage points.
Really close.
Because I've even the way Ndume was talking the other day, he spoke like it was easy for Buhari to win. It was just 4 percentage points. So this is the thing. People should stop the revisionism and the shameful and galling, crass dishonesty that we are seeing. Buhari himself said, after God, he said it in public, I think at the ICC in Abuja. He said, after God, the man who made him to win election was Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has never failed to give him credit for that.
Yes.
And we all saw Garuba Shehu even saying that Tinubu used the media to help them, that anytime they had issues and they needed to reach out to the media, that Tinubu always made himself available. So Tinubu contributed substantially to the victory of Buhari.
Okay.
No one is saying that he's the only one who did it. But if he had not given him that support, the same way he lost 3 previous elections, that's the way we will have lost.
Okay.
Let's not kid ourselves.
Okay.
So if he was not important, how come Buhari couldn't win 3 previous elections?
Okay.
How come?
All right, Paul, what was your reaction? I mean, when the former SGF made that comment, I mean, do you think that comment was necessary at that event?
Only God knows his motivation. But I was like, we were in this country. This just happened recently. I mean, even teenagers of those in their early 20s or mid-20s who were aware, would know that that is just not true. This man contested on the platform of ANPP in 2003 against former President Obasanjo and lost. He contested in 2007 against former President Yar'Adua and lost. In 2011, he contested on the platform of CPC against former President Goodluck Jonathan and lost. Something changed in 2015, and it was because Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in. And that's just the truth. But the truth is this. I'm so happy that Buhari doesn't talk like this. Buhari has never said that, look, has ever laid down the role of the president. Yes. We also know that without President Bola Tinubu, Buhari would not have won the APC primary election because he galvanized all the governors.
Yeah, the support.
The governors of the ACN governors of the Southwest with the structure, to ensure that
he gets the ticket.
We are not saying that other people didn't play a role. You could even say the MPDP played a role.
Yeah, they all played a role.
The Aminu Tambuwa, the Sarakis, who used to be a strong man in Kwara. You can talk about. You can even talk about Rabiu Kwankwaso, of course. Though he contested against
at the primary
election, and we know how strong he was, and he still remains a very strong man in Kano politics. So I do not know the motive. I do not know what. Boss Mustapha is trying to achieve. Maybe because his phone stopped ringing when he left the position, and then
so you think it's just for relevance?
Well, yeah, it's possible. Maybe because his phone stopped ringing, so he needs his phone to ring again, and I don't know.
Okay. I mean, could this signal a deeper crack between the Tinubu camp and the Buhari camp?
Let me put it this way. For the purpose of, I have to say something, because BQ has actually covered all grounds. I will only speak from experiential knowledge. I covered the primaries. I was at the Teslim Balogun. I was in the corridors of the negotiation and all the things that were going on, because I was more interested in what was going on. And I remember late Abubakar Audu of Kogi State then, who was also supporting Kwankwanso from Kogi. And I saw all the games. So I wasn't shocked that Kwankwanso even came second. Do you understand? So it will be foolhardy, pardon my language, for anyone to say that the work Tinubu did in that primary should be dismissed. Totally unnecessary. Like BKO said, just for record and for history to be set right, You know, Temitope Ajayi spoke more on the primaries, on how Buhari emerged. That's fine. But Biko has gone further to tell us what even happened at the general election.
Exactly.
You know, it is not possible. In fact, let me put it on record. I personally even had direct info with Buhari in 2011. Do you understand? Because I was close to the running mate, to the Bakari there. So it is totally uncalled for to say that there is no difference in 2015. There is nothing like nearness. Nearness will not give you victory. That you have 12 million and you don't have the spread, according to the Constitution, is political naivety on its part. And trust me, anybody from Tinubu's camp should not take this as the voice of Buhari. It will be totally unnecessary to create that fight.
So it has nothing to do with Buhari.
Buhari can't say such things. And if you listen to Baba Chilawa, even on TVC yesterday, I think 2 days ago, the short of saga, he even said that I don't need Buhari's permission to join ADC. Buhari is for Tinubu. Good, I can say that for now. But having said that, let's just put it straight away. There was a lot that changed. I heard... I can put it on record, maybe I've forgotten his name. The chief press secretary to Al-Makura, the governor of Nasarawa State, he told me that this is unbelievable. There is this Baba, they saw the screen, they saw the transformation of Buhari. In 2011, Buhari can't even travel to up to 15 states for campaign. And in 2015, he went to some states more than once. Who sponsored these things? Who carried the burden? Who took care of the delegates? These are things that are on record. So totally, it's totally dismissible. Whatever.
BK, the presidency has now responded. Could this... BK, the presidency has now responded. Could this be a warning to those who may be trying to rewrite history?
Well, can I hear that question again?
Yeah, I said the presidency has responded to this. Could this be a warning to those who may be planning to rewrite history?
No, it's not a warning. It's just a message to them that, look, this crass revisionism amounts to nothing at the end of the day. Because you can dismiss Nigerians as very forgetful people. But 2013, 2014, and 2015 happened not long ago. Yeah, I attended the first consultative forum meeting of the PDP, and I remember how they were paying tribute to President Tinubu. Without him, that alliance wouldn't have worked, and that was why they began to call him leader. National leader is not known to the constitution of the APC. But because of the role that he played, you know, on their own they conferred that title on him as national leader of the party. You know, so because he welded everybody together, his capacity to mobilize people and the respect that people have for him enabled that coalition to work. It is not all the time that you see this kind of coalition work. We had parties like AMPP. We had parties like even ABGA. That faction of ABGA that was led by Rocha Sukuruta, they moved into the coalition. We had elements from the PDP, the NPDP. You know, we had them. Even Rotimi Amechi, as chairman of Governors Forum, a PDP member, eventually moved into the party. So Tinubu worked very hard to make that coalition work. So to try to dismiss his contributions is very shameful. And I've said it earlier that even Buhari himself publicly acknowledged that after God, that was Tinubu that made him president. I think on the day Baba Kunde launched his book, Buhari, with his own mouth, acknowledged President Tinubu's contributions. So no matter what people say, and even this boss, Mustapha, was not even in CPC, he wasn't even in Buhari's camp. He came from the ACN.
Yeah, he did.
And with President Tinubu's efforts, he became Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Now he's the one with bold face saying this kind of things, taking a cheap shot at controversy. It's terrible. I know that when President Tinubu chose a Muslim as his deputy, many people didn't like it. Some of them have still not reconciled themselves with the fact that the train has moved. They are still extremely bitter. They are still agonizing. They are still banging their heads against the wall. How long after this thing had happened? So some of the comments we are seeing, the hatred that people are demonstrating, is deeply rooted in the fact that the man chose a Muslim rather than choose a Christian. And he knew that if he chose a Christian, he would not win the election.
Yeah.
Simple.
It's just not going to happen. Even Abiola in 1993 chose a Muslim, similarly chose a Muslim. Because you cannot match two minority religions together. It's not going to deliver the goods. So I think that I'm happy. Even many people do not openly support Asiwaju. On social media, they condemned Boss Mustapha that, no, we may not like this man, but we are not going to allow you to get away with these cheap lies. And that's what it is. I don't think many Nigerians were fooled. And it's too early in the day to assume that Nigerians have forgotten the events of 2013 to 2015. No, they certainly haven't forgotten.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a fine place for us to leave it. BKO, thank you so much for doing this with us this beautiful Thursday evening. Thank you so much for setting the record straight. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, as an historian. Paul, thank you so much for doing this with us. Appreciate you as well. Kaide Ladendi, thank you so much for doing this with us on the show.
It's a pleasure.
And that's all on Journalist Hangouts today. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangouts on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.